Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your Soccer Talk co-host. We are here at Mediacom Stadium playing. Today we've got a back five. We've got a goalkeeper. We're pretty excited about it. We'll go left to right. Our right-footed left back expert, Blake Siebers, Soccer Talk co-host, regular. Siebes, how you doing?
Good.
Extra good, right?
I am. I'm doing great.
Buzzing a little bit. We got left-footed left center back, Matthew Saheg, the Titan tactician. We've got our goalkeeper, Weston McPhee, strong, communicative, all the good stuff. And then we've got Aaron Sheffield here, the Iowa City West assistant coach, playing right center back. He and I are going to be partners all night because I got to keep him nice and close because I'm your attacking right back, Ben Brackett. Hello.
We got Mark Broderick walking in the background.
Let's go, Broderick. So we're here after a great day of soccer. We've been at Mediacom Stadium, pitch side all day, watching some great soccer. We had the 3A semifinals earlier today, the 4A this evening. First game of the day was Urbandale Jayhawks against the Norwalk Warriors in 3A. Who saw that one this morning, boys?
I saw it.
Yeah, a lot of people did as well. Stands were
good atmosphere.
They were full. It was buzzing.
Which was good too, because I was a little bit worried about some of those early games after yesterday, seeing some of the crowds. But we had two local teams, Urbandale and Norwalk. And what was cool too is Urbandale occupied those other stands over there. So there's a good student contingent too. I would say probably one of the larger student contingents of the year that we've seen all year. So we had Norwalk over here on this side, Urbandale on the other side, and they made for a really good atmosphere.
It's a good little plug for the YouTube channel.
We can see our back five if you'd like, but also you can see the whole
Stands.
stadium. Yeah, that's right.
Yes, a little rematch, right, from the earlier game this season where Norwalk won 2-0 and Urbandale came out on top.
Yeah. The goals, interesting two goals, I would call them both training ground goals, right? So first goal happens where Norwalk just gets it out of the back, and Urbandale likes to sit a little bit deeper. So, and we watch our interviews, the interview we post afterwards because we asked the guys about this, but they drop back deep. They don't press until the teams hit a line of confrontation. And so, we've got football lines here. I would say it was probably about the 20-yard line was their line of confrontation.
25-ish.
Yeah. And so Norwalk just kind of played it around the back. I would say 8 or 10 passes. And finally, the left or right back came forward a little bit, hit that line, and he had 3 guys going right away. So one pass across, number 24, which I think is Jeff Naniza. I don't know if I pronounced your name wrong, Jeff. But he's number 24. He's a freshman, intercepts it, the pass, and he's on goal. And you just
Well, Matt, you and I were watching this one, and it was like you'd seen Urbandale drop off, and you could tell they were kind of like baiting it around the back and gets out to the right back, and it was like as soon as he dropped it back to the center back, they pounced and the pressure was on. It was like a trigger, right? That's something you talk about as a coach, as a player. You hear that. What's the trigger to go?
Right.
And it was like as soon as he played negative, they were like, let's press him.
Yep.
Won it off of him, and great finish. They're up 1-0.
Yeah, so it's planned out, right? It's exact. If you're a coach, you're going, well,
I bet Mullins is pretty pleased with
pretty
himself.
good,
there.
right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it
smart.
looked genius. It was very, like you guys said, it was very good. Norwalk was kind of out of ideas, right? When they had so much time, so much space to just continue to carry the ball up.
Yeah.
It's definitely interesting.
Right, so second goal then is off a corner, and they take a short corner, and Norwalk just didn't react quick enough. So it's number 10 who comes out. Number 10 is Kenan Kapik.
Yep.
He gets it short, kind of takes the touch in. Goalkeeper is off his line, and he chips one in, and he even admits to us it was a cross. But it
100% was.
It was a good enough cross for a goal.
Well,
so
and the
he
goalkeeper
scores
didn't deal with it, right? It's in his box. That's all that it takes, right? So 2-0, and Norwalk did claw one back, did they not?
They did, yeah, down there at the far end. Cross, misclearance, and they took advantage of it, and it made it a little bit dicey there in the last little bit.
Did anybody think that it was going to change? I felt like it was under control for Urbandale.
I thought so too. I mean, anytime you're up 2-1, and I think in the semifinal, and someone claws one back, you're under pressure.
Shutdown
so
mode. It
it wasn't a sure thing, but I don't think that I can't think of a chance that Norwalk had after it was 2-1 where you would say, that was really close and maybe they would have equalized. So I think Urbandale deserved the win, and it's set up for an interesting final, right? I know we're going to get to that game next, and maybe this is a good segue.
Well, yeah, it's been over 20 years since the Jayhawks have been in the state final. 2002 was the last time they played in a state final, and that was against the Valley Tigers, and they beat us 5-1 or 2, and they were by far the best team in the state at the time.
I would argue, Ben,
One of the best
we
teams.
played against them. They're the best. I think
team
they're the
of the
best
era.
team
One of
ever in my high school.
We're just
soccer
trying to
history.
wind Sheffy up. Chef, just real quick, you want a rebuttal moment? Iowa City West that year did win the state tournament.
So 2000, Iowa City West won the state tournament. We beat Urbandale.
Did you know anyone on that team?
I played for that team. Yeah.
All right.
But we did it after getting a red card in the first 5 minutes of the game, and I don't recall ever having another team do that, win the state championship with 10 guys the entire game. So.
That is impressive.
Fair play
What was the red card
Fair
for?
play to the Fighting Aaron Sheffields,
Yeah,
a.k.a.
extremely
the Iowa City West Trojans.
And to be fair, there were newspaper articles going into that state tournament talking about how Urbandale was
That's how old we are.
Yeah,
Yes.
it was the most most talented team ever in the state of Iowa.
Well, so as an East Sider, right? The other side of the 3A bracket, you had Iowa City Liberty
Yep.
and Cedar Rapids Washington. Cedar Rapids Washington with a big upset the other night, getting here.
Yep.
They won penalties, if I recall, against DCG. So that a big win. But then Iowa City Liberty looks like they're kind of on a tear. You're an Iowa City guy. Talk to us a little bit. Let's go Iowa City Liberty game. What'd you think?
Yeah, so West High played both of those teams this year. We tied Washington, and Liberty smacked us 3-0. So I was listening. I missed the Urbandale game, but I was listening to your description, and I actually think that it's pretty similar. Like, it's going to be a really interesting stylistic matchup because Liberty stays extremely organized, and they possess, and they're organized both when in possession and defensively, and they make good decisions. So, that sounded to me like it will be really interesting against an Urbandale team that maybe sits back a little bit and counterattacks. In terms of the Washington game, I think from what I saw, Liberty had most of possession, but Washington kind of on counterattacks and has a couple of key players there who are dangerous. I think number 6 and 22.
Yeah, he scored a great free kick.
Yeah,
Number 6 did.
yeah.
Those are the big boys, right?
Yeah, the big guys.
Jacob Klein and Holden Smith.
That sounds right. Yeah, Holden Smith for sure. That's 22, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and then number 6, I think, scored on the free kick. And
Cost
then
me $10.
Yeah, did it?
Yeah, Charlie was like, Charlie Bales was like, oh, he's going to score from here. I'm like, he won't.
Yeah.
And, no, I lost that.
Yeah, so Liberty looked like they were comfortable up 2-0 going into the half. Gave up a foul on the outside of the box, and then number 22 there, Holden scored the free kick, and I mean it was a nice free kick. And then the second half I thought was more of the same. Liberty felt to me to be in control, but on counterattacks, Washington made it interesting.
Washington had a little injury, right, from one of the boys, so I think that didn't
I might
help.
have missed that. Yeah.
Let's talk about this quick, Chef, before we move on. At the end of the game, right, I walked up to you, and it was 2-1, then at 3-1.
Yep.
And the Iowa City kids were up off the bench,
Yep.
cheering, like they were all jacked up. The whole team seemed super engaged, and Cedar Rapids Washington, there were like 5 minutes left, and they'd sort of like, everybody sat down. They just seemed a little, and they ended up scoring in that time. But
that
Great
time,
goal.
yeah.
Great goal.
Great goal.
Yeah, it was an absolute screamer, right? It makes it 3-2. And I just thought it was a really interesting thing. Like, what if they had a different attitude?
Right.
Maybe were a little more hungry, potentially, or I don't know, whatever you want to determine it.
I mean,
I was
if
just curious.
If you're judging them by what they're doing on the bench, I disagree with that. I personally would love to see more players sit down on the bench.
It
I'd say it's chaotic.
They
It's
just didn't
chaotic.
seem quite as there
Yeah.
didn't seem to be quite as
Okay, fair
as
enough.
much energy coming out of one side as the other. That's all.
too. I like a strict bench.
No, it's fine. I'm just saying, like, you could tell that they were more engaged. That's
Yeah,
all.
it was the energy aspect mainly that we were talking about, because I actually said to Ben, I'm going to kind of look at this as a coach myself.
If Wash has if
Yeah.
they have a strict don't stand up on the bench policy, I'll eat my hat.
Yeah, sure.
But it's tough, right? I mean, 2 out-of-school team or out-of-town teams, there was no energy in the stadium. There was no atmosphere.
That's true.
They split again, kind of like you said, Matt. The first game, the Washington fans were on the other side. It's a long drive. Yeah, there just wasn't many of them, and so challenging, big time.
I think we're up for a really good final, though. We
Yes.
got Iowa City Liberty taking on the Urbandale Jayhawks.
If
Matt
you-
and I are still live in our picks too, so we got the Jayhawks going all the way.
That's true. That's true because there's a lot of other picks I'm not alive in, but it feels like we're coming to a close
I'm
here
pretty
on
hot
the
right
3A.
now, actually.
So I want to mention the red card, the 4 red card rule because I think
Yes.
it's relevant here, right? So
So this
Liberty.
Iowa City Liberty has been in the state final 2 of the last 3 years, but last year they did not because they suspended their season in their last game of sub-state.
So
they got-
so is
they-
what you're saying is in 2023 they were in the final?
They won it.
They won it. Okay. So they won in 2023.
They came
4
back.
red card rule means they didn't play last year.
That's right.
So, I mean, arguably they should be up for a three-peat.
That's right.
Arguably. They
That's
didn't get
correct.
to play that final game. That's significant, right? When you're talking about looking back into the history books. And so we'll see what they do tomorrow in terms of, or whether or not they can pull it off and get the win. And I don't know, what do you even call that? Is that a two-peat? Because you've actually won back-to-back and for which you've been eligible? I don't know.
Right or wrong, their season ended.
I get that, but my whole point is this 4 red card rule, right? Which I despise. I hate it. We had some red cards here in the evening tonight, right? And I don't know. I mean, that game could have ended early tonight too. Which there were some red cards tonight. Okay, fine, fair enough. But the game, could you imagine with all these people out here coming out here?
They just ended the game.
just
Well, it's a
ended the game?
challenge, right?
Oh.
They got sent off against Prairie, right? That was when the red card
You're talking
happened.
about Iowa City Liberty last year.
last
against
year.
Prairie.
So because of they scored a goal and their team ran down the sideline. So it was very ironic because it happened the same exact thing. We were standing right here.
Iowa City Liberty was literally here waiting to play,
Right.
and the Jayhawks scored, and they went wild down the sideline. The whole bench clearing celebration, and poor Matt Harding is sitting there going like, "Is anybody paying attention?"
And Mullins is trying to grab his boys, but let them have fun. Let them
But
celebrate.
Matt
They were
Harding was
harmless.
sitting here, and there were no, there were guys running by him left and right. Right, the Urbandale guys.
Blake's kid almost got trampled.
I loved it. That is awesome. They were harmless, right? That's where it comes. So,
Well, so 3A finals going to be great.
real quick, Sheffy, who we picking?
I mean, I have to go with Iowa City Liberty. I think Harding has them ready to go and playing really well.
Weston.
Well, yeah, everybody gets to reseed themselves, repick, because that's what the Iowa High School Association is doing. So you get to repick after losing.
Well, I'm going to go with the local team, Urbandale. I've coached against them a number of years, and they've always had an above average squad. But if this is the year, and 20 some years, it's going to be great for them.
And let's go credit to John Mullins because he's been there for 2 years now and made a huge difference. Last year they were good.
Yeah.
They were ranked highly all year. Didn't make it through the sub-state, but this year. So congrats to the Jayhawks.
Yeah, breaking through that ceiling.
Siebes, I think you got a repick too, right?
That's Liberty. Never going to pick Jayhawks.
Oh, I love it.
It's Liberty. Me and Sheffy. Harding's got the new boots on.
Me and
It's
Sheffy
going.
and Weston. Good
Yep.
Lord.
Let's go, boys.
Siebes, Seheg?
Well, I mean, first of all, I picked Urbandale about a week ago, so it's not like I'm going to walk that back.
No, I'm not walking it back either.
But one of the things I like about Urbandale too is I was looking through that roster. They're a pretty young group, so I not only like them tomorrow, but I like them next year too.
Ooh.
So I'm going
Let's see if
Urbandale
you're
Jayhawks. I also,
Year in advance.
I mean, that's how you win money gambling, Chevy. I've never done that, but I'm just saying, I like what's building there in Urbandale for what's going on. I thought they looked good today. I thought they had a plan. They executed on the plan. So let's go Jayhawks.
As a Valley Tiger that isn't always a Jayhawk fan, I am still sticking Jayhawks. Let's go 4A. My Tigers.
Are we
rolling
going all
tonight.
in right now, or are we going to stop this?
No, we're going all in, baby.
Oh, I love it.
But yeah, let's transition
Let's
straight away.
do this, boys.
So
Before
today
the
I
lights
wore
go out.
I wore my purple for the Johnston Dragons. The Drags played against
Ames Little Cyclones.
the Cyclones. I wore my orange for the Valley Tigers as they took on.
Ankeny Hawks.
Thank you. And we get the final that we want, don't we?
Yes.
It's an exciting final. So let's talk about that first game. Johnston.
Dream start. Goal within the first minute and a half. Great little skill by Malai down the right wing.
Goal
Kate
within the
Quinn,
first
right?
40 seconds.
They were
37.
they
I
were
think.
hot coming out of the gate, weren't they, Weston?
Yeah, and Ames was asleep the first. I mean, even after the goal, it was another 5 to 10 minutes before they even woke up and wanted to start playing. And that first 45 seconds, huge miscommunication between the center back and the goalkeeper. No one stepped to the ball. No one said anything. I was standing literally right here watching. No one said a word, and the coaches had to do everything they could to uplift them the next 5 minutes to get them.
Well, Steves was
awake.
buzzing, wasn't he?
It was great. Dream start for the Drags. And it doesn't surprise you, right? Like those boys.
They're up for it.
Yeah.
Three-peat on the table, like that's pretty exciting.
So what? So they go offside, guy gets called back. They were going to go 2-0 up, which I think there's a little bit of debate. What happened?
Oh, there's no debate. It was a rebound goal. He was offsides.
There's a screenshot we got from the screen.
Okay, I'm standing right here. The
Well,
linesman
luckily you're
saw
here
it.
at the top of the penalty area, Wes. The offside happened inside the 6-yard box,
Yeah.
almost on the end line.
Yeah, I mean, I was sending Seaver's pictures here. Like, I froze it on my computer as the ball's leaving his foot. It was extremely close. I honestly
So Lino
don't
didn't
know.
put her flag
Yeah,
up.
It was
This
really,
is the
really
big like
close.
question I would have. She didn't put her flag up. So then the center went over and talked, and they ended up calling it. So again, I have no idea. We're not privy to the microphone. I'm not privy to the conversation, but it was just
To be
just
fair,
very
it
interesting.
didn't ultimately make a difference in the
Correct.
game, right? Johnson continued to stay on top of it. They went up 2-0 shortly thereafter. Great diagonal ball from the right side of the field. I can't remember who played it, but Kyron Pope with a well-timed run and nips in like right as the goalie's coming out, nips in, rounds him, and does really well to actually finish it because he's running out of time and space and his angle's not great. And they celebrate ecstatically as they should have. And
To get some height on that was impressive. Like, that's what allowed the finish to happen, is he got it up in a short distance.
Can we talk briefly about like the tactical back and forth between the two coaches? Because
Please.
Kuba
Yeah.
for Ames, he was playing right the left wing. Really good, really dangerous. The first 15, 20 minutes maybe.
He's really
Created some-
clever with all his passing. Like he always he pops up and he's always trying to like help people on and get him into space.
Except for I think where Blake was going with that was that he was actually able to get in behind Johnston's right back several times. So because Siebers and I were watching it, right? I can't remember if you were there or not, Ben, at the point in time, but Kuva literally they were playing balls in behind and he would just beat the left back for pace and getting behind him, right back, sorry. And there were a couple times actually where he was able to draw contact. And we were saying if he would have just gone down, he probably could have maybe sold a penalty in the box. But
so
he
Kuba's
stayed on his feet.
he's not a big guy, right?
He's
a
not-
smaller
he's not
guy.
a big guy.
So all he does is
And
like
he
step
also-
in front and just slow down and just
That-
right.
Nah, that's not really what he did. I don't think.
No, I'm
But
saying that's what he should have done, right? Like he gets in front.
I think he drew the contact. I think he just should have gone over, right? So I don't think he needed to stop. I think he could just gone over. But
I think we're
what I
basically
was
saying the
surprised
same
about was I haven't seen him played much, but I was watching Ben, and so
I think we're still saying the same thing.
okay. So I hadn't seen him play much, but when we did see him play against Ankeny
Yep.
over at Valley, he was playing down the center of the field. So when he showed up on the left, that was interesting. So when Blake says tactical battle, they clearly, to me, moved him out left, knowing what I know. Now I'm sure there's a lot more, but then they wanted to go at Johnson's right back. And Frizzell and Stork, they saw it early, and they changed it right away. And they brought in a new player, and then Kuva all of a sudden then 5 minutes later ends up in the middle. So there was definitely a little tactical battle going on at the back there where Johnston was changing players and Kuva was changing positions.
It's cool. It's like interesting to see, right? Because
Let's just talk quick.
I liked
Give
it.
Jimmy and Timmy a little shout out. Frizzle and Stork. Sorry, Jim Frizzell. But like they're gaming coaches. Like they're constantly trying to adjust and figure out. And they make a lot of subs, don't they, Blake? Like I mean, in and out of the game, you've got strikers coming in, midfielders coming in, and they're always trying to like.
Yeah, I would
futz
argue
with it
like
a little bit.
too much, a little bit sometimes, right? Pope is dangerous.
Yeah, I might play.
It works
more.
though. It works.
Yeah.
Well, I think they only changed their main shape once within the game. First half with 11 minutes left, they switched to a 3-5. They were in a 3-5-2, and they switched to a 4-back because of that pressure they were getting out wide. So they wanted to have their outside backs a little further back in the wide areas. and that was only the major change that they had. The only, the tweaks that they do with all their subs is in the midfield. Okay, are we going to have that one 6 really deep? Or are we going to have 2 6s that kind of push up together? That's their big, adjustments that they do with all their subbing. It doesn't have really anything to do with their main ideas. It's just, what type of roles are they really going to play in the midfield?
Well, congrats to Ames, because they were good.
Oh yeah.
So let's get real quick.
I was just going to
on-
go talk about the Johnson. I was going to say congrats to Ames on their great season, but I think let's just touch on the Johnston
injury.
sort of-
Leach
yes.
goes down hurt.
Kale Leach,
stops the game
great
for
player.
I thought he's really. I think he's.
Arguably the
Yeah,
best player.
but goes down hurt right for
Yeah,
20 minutes.
And it's like it's not a great one, right? He gets hit with the ball in the head. It looked to be some sort of concussion or something. We don't really know all the details, but it was a bit of a scary moment there. And honestly, I thought Johnson was maybe in trouble, because I've been in games like that. Have you guys played in a game where somebody's gotten really hurt?
Yeah.
And it sort of like sucks the life out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter really what side you are on it. It's like, how do we finish this? Can we just be done?
Yeah.
I feel really bad about this.
It brings the reality of what's important
Correct.
right to the it's like, okay, I don't care about the game anymore. I just want to know my buddy's okay.
Yes, exactly.
And so-
it seemed like the Drags were a little shaken.
Right. How do you get that out of the back of your mind? And there was still 25 minutes left in the game, right? When he went down.
And it was 2-0 at that point.
Yeah. And it wasn't just like he went down and, he kind of hobbled off.
No.
It was
The
slow.
ambulance came. They had to stretcher him off. Like, it was
Then the
not.
fire engines came
Yeah,
later.
yeah.
They brought the backboard out. Then they didn't use the backboard. Then they lifted him in the sheet. His mom was out of the stands. I mean, it was a whole production.
It was
And
tough
so
to watch. And I think all the Dragons, like, they were hurt.
Well, when your coach runs out, Frizzell ran out right away, right? Usually, coach doesn't run out with the trainer, and he did not move. So it was definitely.
It was scary. Sounds like he's all things considered okay.
But it changed the game because we had the break, and Ames gets one back.
Right. So it'd be really interesting tomorrow to see whether or not he's in the game or not, right?
Safe to my guess is no. And let's just go regardless, because we're here on the pod. Like, let's wish him well. Like, I think.
Yeah.
Obviously we all feel that way, but let's make sure.
Yeah.
What a great player. Like, let's get healthy.
Right. Totally. So I would not be. So who knows? It looked really bad in terms of what happened. But do you remember when we saw the woman come down in the white pants, and we're like, that's got to be his mom, right? And then she got down and is like, okay, she knows what she's doing. And I told you, just Google Dr. Leach, see if she's a physician. Turns out she's an ER doc, right? So he was in totally good hands with his mom tending to him on the field. Then obviously they probably just took him straight down the road to Mercy. So I bet they're doing all the necessary tests on him tonight. And maybe he's going to bounce back, and they just clear him. It
Sounds
could
like
be the
only
case.
thing he cared about was what was the score.
Yeah, right. Either way, and I know we're going to get to predictions. Like, it is a huge loss for them losing Kale if he doesn't play tomorrow. But it also gives them a huge
Different
thing to
motivation.
play for.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
So, and the beauty of this is that we can counter it, right? Because the Valley Tigers played the Ankeny Hawks in the other semifinal and had some of their own little obstacles or challenges to deal with. Who wants to talk about the Tigers and the Hawks? Anybody got some
First
stuff?
minute of the game again, Valley scores.
Yeah.
Eric Faust, great goal.
Mm-hmm.
Takes it to his right, slots it back across his body, and at the end of the day, that's the winner.
Yeah, and it was not a lot of chances as the game went on, right? I felt like that was sort of like the dangerous moment of the game. Like, early on, it seemed like that was where the action was. I don't know. Lana Benj kept quiet for one of the first times probably all year.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Did you guys notice afterwards, Aziz was consoling him? Like, I like that out of the opposing coach, going up and giving him a little congratulations. And you don't like that, Siebes?
That's okay. Yeah, he was okay. Interesting.
It's
yeah.
a nice gesture.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a nice gesture from
Yeah,
Aziz.
it's a nice
I'm with
gesture.
them. I'm with them on this. I could care less.
But talking about talking points, though, right? Johnson doesn't
Thanks.
have Leach, so right. Valley wins 1-0. Valley without 2 starters.
So midway
goes,
through the
yeah.
second half, Mirsky, bad injury, late tackle.
Keck boy, I don't know. He's like,
Yeah, it looked
Where-
like
yeah.
he also hopped in the ambulance, had to take a ride.
Yeah.
So we're pretty concerned about that. I know Aziz and the staff were concerned about that as well. And then late in the game, less than a minute left, they get a red card for
Catalan,
some silliness though, right? Like he's on it. Well, so he's on a yellow, and then they go to take the free kick, and he like jumped in front of it, but not like he jumped early in front of it. So it's a definite yellow card, but again, like it was a little silly, right?
Very silly. Not a little silly.
No time left. They're easily going through at that point, and they play the last like 30 seconds.
Because
with
the
a
free
man
kick
down.
was 119 yards away.
You cannot get sent off with 17 seconds left when you're up 1-0
No.
like that. So he'll be kicking himself big time for that.
So, in talking to Aziz after the game, he was super stressed out about the players he's lost, which totally makes sense. But I think we're dealing with both teams in a similar situation. They're probably a little banged up. It's the end of the year. You're missing some guys. So let's go predictions. A big Friday night here at MediaCom. We'll be pitch side. I'm still sticking with my Tigers. Probably gonna have to wash this tonight and maybe dry it in the morning, and maybe I won't even actually, just because it's good luck. Chef, you've played all these teams all year long. What do you think?
Yeah, it's hard. So I told Sahag that I can't pick against the Dragons because they just beat us every year. So it's really hard to pick against them. But in terms of my heart, man, it's with your Tigers because
hello.
I just don't think I can watch Johnston win it again. but
So slightly biased, but but real.
No.
But real.
So my prediction, I'm going with Johnston, but
His
I
heart
hope,
is
I hope
his
I'm
heart
wrong.
is wearing
Yeah.
orange.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm picking Johnston.
Oh man, I'm all alone over here.
Yeah. Valley not being able to close out a game, I think they should have been able to way better than giving up 2 yellow or red
They did
cards.
not close out. They closed out, just not
Okay.
well.
Yeah, S-Housery.
Getting defensive.
Like, you're a better team than that. You should
Agreed.
be able to choke out a game. That's an issue with better teams in the state. They don't know how to choke out a game the way they should.
I love that. Choke out a game. I've
Yeah.
never heard of that.
Finish him.
Yeah.
Finish him.
Johnston has the tactical ability to change in game, sub in people when they need to. They have the absolute upper hand here. I could see another game like last year, 3-0.
Okay.
I could see it very easily.
All right. Easy. All right. Say hey.
Very easily.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
You're still going Drags?
couple. Well, I can't walk that back
You
now. I
can't.
mean,
They would-
I looked up.
they
So
would probably hunt you
couple that
down.
we've interviewed the Dragons, number one. So we talked to all those boys, and then we talked to the Valley guys. The Valley guys straight up asked us what the prediction was, and I told them to their faces 2-1 Dragons. So I'm not going to walk that back.
Can't
but
do
I'll
that.
say a couple of different things. It is really hard, right, to get to the state final. I think anyone would say that's really hard. It's also very hard to get there twice in a row, but then you got to win it. They've won it twice. Now they're back for a third time in a row. Three-peats are few and far between. There's only a limited number of teams that have done it, I assume, because I don't know of any.
And you, when you say teams, I mean, I was just going to say teams in general.
Yeah.
Basketball teams.
Yeah.
And football
Yeah,
teams.
right.
Like,
I-
and we're
I think
talking
of the-
professionally, like basketball, baseball, like anything. Who's
Yeah.
repeated?
Right.
Soccer, anybody. No,
Right. So they're
Michael
back-
Jordan is all I think of.
So they're back again. So you can't discount that. You can't discount the fact that these guys, when they get in these big games, they show up. And so I'm going with the Drags. I also think they've got just some other reasons to win it. I think that they are going to look at themselves in the mirror tonight and say, hey, you know what? It did get a little bit dodgy for a little bit when Kale went down coming back, but we did it. We followed through. And then that's going to provide all the ammo that they need tomorrow. Either he's back and it's a huge lift for them, or he's not and they're playing for something. And then I think just in typical fashion, they'll be ready to go. So 2-1 Drags, you guys heard it from me. I'm going with you guys. I also don't want to be wrong again. So there's that.
Well, fortunately, Kyron Pope's got your back.
Yeah, I know. They were nice. They were actually nice to me too for tonight. So that was nice.
Well,
of
that's
them.
because some of the more hostile boys have graduated.
What are they going to say on the field tomorrow night at this time when you're out there? Because they said some different things 2 years ago at County
Where's Matt
about
Sayeg?
you.
Now they're gonna say, "Where's Matt Sayeg?" and they're gonna be giving him hugs.
It'll be positive.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm picking them next year yet. So I mean, come on. Like I did.
They're no Urbandale. Well, and Urbandale did beat Johnson in the Merle Hay Cuppity Cup. So, anyway, I'm still going not Drags, Tigers. Woo. Gonna be a good one though, right? I'm not gonna wear my purple hat. I'm gonna wear orange tomorrow. Siebes, you gonna wear purple?
Roll Drags, man. I got the jersey. Jimmy gave us the jersey from a while ago. I have to.
It's going to be fun. No doubt about it. We'll be here. Please come say hello. We'll be over tailgating. We got pizza a couple different times during the day and some camaraderie. So please stop by and say hello. We have free tickets as well. So roll Drags, roll Tigers, roll Jayhawks, whatever. Who else? Who are you supporting?
Good.
Yeah,
Liberty.
Let's go Lightning.
Van Meter's
Let's
in it
go
tomorrow,
Lightning.
too.
Van Meter's in it tomorrow. It'll be good. Siebers is just shaking his head.
Let's
All
it's
right,
a good
bye.
time to end it.
Yeah, Siebes.